tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers. We're here doing another AfterBuzz TV after show for Disney's Girl Meets World Season 1, Episode 14, Girl Meets Friendship. I'm your host, Kristen Elizabeth Snyder, and joining me, AfterBuzz TV host Lee Epstein.
Hello,
I missed you.
Kristen, I miss you too. And we missed you, viewers and listeners. We love you guys. So, hello, and happy belated Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that we were going to have a whole month off. That was crazy.
I know. That is weird. It's been so long.
I missed it. Whenever I got to watch all the episodes today, I was like, yay, we're back.
I know, right? Exactly.
But I guess, like, do you think we're going on a holiday break at all now for Christmas and New Year's? I didn't check it out.
We're definitely going to get a Christmas episode and a big one.
Yes.
Which is going to feed the Boy
Friday.
Meets World, you know, the really nostalgic people like you are going to just thrive on that. They're just going to live on it.
I was freaking out because someone texted me or tweeted at me that this was the week for Sean, and I was so excited, and I just kept waiting for him to come on, and he didn't.
And you're like, waiting.
He didn't.
Wait, no. We're like 20 minutes in, he's still not here. Maybe it's at the last scene.
Yeah, I thought maybe in the last 2 minutes they would, like, bring him back for a second, like, as a tease didn't happen.
No.
All right, well, let's dive into the episode.
All right.
Girl Meets Friendship. So Riley for Princess is the first thing we get, and this was sort of the episode where all the friends were being put against each other. Did you ever run for government at your school, and did you run into this issue where it was sort of breaking up your friendships?
That's funny. I can't think that I did, but I had a funny experience related to it this week because I went to my 10-year high school reunion.
Oh, wow.
On Friday, and it's funny because in high school it's like you elect these people to be your high school president and secretary.
VP.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay, so well maybe you have this experience where like basically what you're signing up for is that 10 years down the road and then 15 and 20 years you're now responsible for the reunions.
Yeah.
Like mostly what you're basically signing up for is to be the reunion organizer person.
I didn't know that at the time.
Right. Nobody knows that. They never tell you. Nobody knows that. Everyone's like, oh yeah, my class president. But then when you look back on it, you're like, what does a class president do at high school anyway? Like, or, you know, or secretary and treasurer.
I think we got to pick the colors of our graduation gowns.
Oh, really?
We got to design them a bit, yeah.
Really?
We ended up looking like Halloween. I had no vote there.
What? Wait, it's not like your just school colors the same every year?
They were black and orange, but we got to like design them a bit.
That's partly why it looked like Halloween?
Yeah, that's part of the reason.
That's so funny.
Well, in this episode, Riley, you know, her whole campaign is being a princess, which is sort of silly, and Lucas for president. He was the only one actually running for president. And then we had Farkle, who wanted to be dictator.
It was a little freaky. I mean, I liked it, but to see Farkle and this kind of bad guy dictator was a little, just like seeing a dictator. It reminded me of, you know, The Wave. Did you ever read or see The Wave?
I didn't.
Oh, well, it's like kind of like this, like a school kind of. I mean, that's like a serious version of it more than this is a little more lighthearted, obviously, but it kind of freaked me out at first. Of course, this episode ends very nicely, happy ending, good, but I'm like, this is creepy. This kid's being a dictator, and all the kids, basically, The Wave is like all these kids being like, oh my God, you are our leader, and like, you know, kind of creepily getting on board with the dictator.
Well, I liked that they used the, free stuff, because people will literally do anything.
Especially here in Hollywood.
For something free.
I know.
You get a t-shirt for signing up for something, and they're going to crowd your email box for the rest of the year. People will do it.
I know. We just got this whole Mustache Movember box at my house.
Oh, gosh.
My roommate ordered this box of mustache, you know, Movember stuff. I'm talking like I'm not talking like an envelope, like a box of pins and buttons and sashes and t-shirts, like
you better
stickers.
have a party.
But he didn't even do the mustache thing. That's what I'm saying is so crazy.
Was it?
I'm outing him for not doing the mustache thing.
I mean, it's just like
that's what I'm saying, because they'll send you free stuff. But you're right, people will do anything for free stuff,
So
and especially middle school kids. Like obviously they'll I mean, if you could do that, but you would think that in middle schools and high schools there would be kind of, you know, campaign finance regulations or something where they'd say there'd be limits on what you could give out to people, because it's kind of cheating, you know. It's kind of a cheap way to win your school election. That's
a good point. I remember when it was kind of difficult when I was younger, because it was your whole room, and people in your homeroom had to nominate you in order to be on student government. So you were literally running side by side with your friends in your classroom, and it was
You had like an electoral college kind of system. Your homeroom nominated you, and then you
Luckily for me, like, there weren't very many of the quote-unquote popular kids in my classroom, and I was just one of those people who were really nice to everyone. I always had gum, so people loved me. That got me, like, VP and student council.
Do you have gum right now?
I do. Would you like a piece?
I would have a piece of gum.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I'll say this, you know, to keep us moving while you do that, but I will have a piece of gum. You know, Lucas in this episode, I thought really developed. You know how I've talked about how awesome, thank you. I won't chew it on the air just now, but I do appreciate it. You know how we talked about how Lucas has been a little bit like pigeonholed to be the pretty boy?
Yeah.
And then in a couple of the past more recent episodes, we've seen more and more of him developing, and I thought that really happened more here, like that he is a more developed character, and I like it because I feel like it's letting the actor showcase more of his acting.
Definitely.
That's what I feel, at least I'm seeing now, and I think that'll just continue and continue more.
I was kind of sad whenever he felt like that wasn't his home, New York wasn't his home, and he like wanted to keep going back every weekend to Texas. That's expensive.
Yeah, that's not the most unrealistic thing, you know, like the horse in the New York City apartment. We didn't.
I mean, that was fine with me.
No,
but the airfare is what I was concerned about. The unicorn horse didn't bother me at all.
But it's not like that's a unicorn. I'm just like, okay, do you know how small my apartment was in New York? Like, I could barely go to the bathroom. Like, a horse? Are you kidding me?
The horse took up the whole room.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little insane. But it's, you know, it's fun. It's a TV show. It's fun. It's Disney. I'm okay with it. But, yeah, that was a little insane that he wants to go to Texas. But every week. It's a little, yeah, I mean, he probably has, like, platinum status on American Airlines by the time he's 12.
I hope so.
Yeah, you would think.
I hope so.
But, yeah, but, like, you see that it's a real thing, you know, and especially for a middle school kid to move. I didn't move. I grew up in the same house my whole growing up. You did too. Mm-hmm. But you've probably I've met people who've like moved during, you know, either military or working. You did want to move. Yeah, I would have been down to move too. I don't know if I would have then, but people talk about how it can be pretty traumatic when you're 12 years old. Or like I have friends who were moved in high school.
Yeah.
You know, you're 3 years in, and then your family gets a job, or they're in the military, or whatever it is, and they have to move, and it can be pretty traumatic for people. I mean, it's a real thing. I like that they've continued that, and that's like really something that's going on. But it's also nice. This episode obviously has a very kind of nice bow-tied happy ending,
because we think the friends are going to use that tidbit of he doesn't even want to be here to, you know, discredit him.
And you're like, oh my god, this is going to be so nasty, and they're going to be like me, and they really built it up, and I did not know that this really great, cute, happy ending was coming. It was a nice surprise. Yeah. It was a really cute surprise, and it was like, oh, that's awesome, and that he really has friends in New York who do care about him.
I loved his friends from Texas, though. Like, can they please come visit?
Me too.
That's immediately what I was thinking was, that's going to be my prediction. I want them to come to New York, because that would be great. That would be an amazing episode.
What did you like about them? Just because they talk with a Texas accent, kind of?
Like that. I also just like that they were new, and they seemed fun. They seemed like fun kids.
What about the kid who was like behind Lucas, you know, in the classroom? He was a new kid. I don't think we've seen him.
Yeah, he didn't have a huge part in this episode, so I'm not sure if we're going to see him later, but he was sort of the rebel that randomly showed up. I need to see more there. I like that there's a new kid being introduced. Yeah. And he's cute from girls' perspective.
Adorable.
So I want to see more of him. He seemed fun, but it was just kind of like,
I think he's cute.
It was weird. It was weird the way we didn't really use him, but we used him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's that same seat, but we've had other characters kind of like rotate in and out of this class.
We did. When we had the bad guy who wrote the word
the thing on his head.
Yeah. That's what I remember about that.
Me too.
Well,
that's just like they have, you know, I just picture they have a classroom with an empty seat, and then every week there's just like a new kid rotates in to that seat.
Well, that's how the original, to geek out for a minute, if you watch the pilot of Boy Meets World, there's always Cory and Sean, and then for the first few episodes, there's always a third best friend
who rotates through. And eventually, because they kept trying kids with the group to see what the chemistry would be like, and eventually they moved Minkus into that position and Topanga. Interesting.
And then they kept them, obviously.
Yeah, so I wonder if there will be kind of more steady kids. I mean, I think the guest stars of this show have been phenomenal. When we get to talking about our next episode, there was a great guest star in that one. You know, there's a lot of, they're getting some big names and some great guest stars, both in the kid actors that are not necessarily big names yet, and also some really famous actors, musicians, athletes coming on the show, so which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. Let's talk about your favorite character for a moment, Augie. He won't fall asleep unless both parents tuck him in. And I thought that was a really cute story because I do agree that children need both parents. It
was very endearing. It was also, that was another kind of like cute surprise thing. They were like, you know, why don't you just like go to sleep? Right. You know, like they thought he was being kind of annoying and childish, but actually it was from a very good, sweet, you know, good-hearted place that he just wanted to have both his parents around, and I think it's a very realistic thing. You know, many, if not most, families these days where there are two parents, both are working in many cases, and so it's pretty realistic in terms of the reality that we see in most, at least in families where there are two parents. That's a very common thing.
Absolutely.
Or in a family where there's one parent, like you'll have a thing where the parent has to work a lot also, especially. So it's. Again, I think it's an example of this show addressing a very actually real, relatable thing, both for kids and adults, in a way that's lighthearted and enjoyable and not, you know, too serious.
I agree.
But it's real and fun, so I like that.
Girl Meets World is real. It's a reflection of our life.
Except for the 12-year-old girl's hairstyles and shoes and horse in New York apartment.
That's the fashion in New York. Let's go ahead and roll into predictions.
It's kind of true.
Can we roll into predictions, Josh? Josh in the booth. Okay.
Josh, push any button. No, I'm just kidding.
We need the music.
And now,
we need the
your
music.
AfterBuzz
It's been hard on Josh.
Josh.
We never worked with Josh before.
I just met
awesome.
Josh. He's our engineer today. He used to work at Sirius Radio, so he's serious. I'm
Double entendre.
I'm excited to have him in the booth.
Yeah.
Good things are coming for us. So what are your predictions into the next episode that we're going to recap in just a few minutes?
Yeah, this is great. We should not tell you, our loyal viewers at home, that we do. You know, we should just pretend that we're doing one at a time. But they know already. You guys know that already.
They know our schedule and our pattern.
They know. I mean, I think. Well, here's the. I mean, in a broader sense, I do see now there's more conflict being developed between the friends, right? We're like, okay, we get it. Now they're friends. They're a unit. They're a group. Okay, so we've got that established at this point. So now we're seeing more of them, conflict, antagonism, and also more development in the characters and some variety in them, right? Like, okay, like in this episode, Farkle wasn't just like perfect, all A+ nerdy boy. He was like kind of the bad guy a little bit.
But you have to be that smart to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes villains are the masterminds, and I loved how he had the white cat, like the Dr. Claw or whatever. Was that his name?
Like, are you thinking of
from Inspector Gadget? Was that his name, Dr. Claw? I think so.
Josh, you know?
Josh, you got me on this,
yes,
man?
it was Dr. Claw.
Okay. Done. Inspector Gadget.
Next time, gadgets. Next time on AfterBuzz's 90s nostalgia show, we literally just sit here and talk about stuff from 20 years ago. It's great.
I will bring all my old toys. My prediction.
So I think we'll see more of that, but what do you think?
Well, you know, we saw in the end, Lucas says to Riley, I see you as a princess. So they're teasing their relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, I want to finally see that because she's still awkward around him. She's still giving him the thumbs up, and she's like, I can't help it. I don't know how it happened. So, like, we need to see it play out. In the beginning, I thought it was just maybe a little thing they were kind of like in the first couple episodes, but it's actually continued. Right, like at the beginning, it was like, okay, he's the new kid, so she's kind of like gaga for him, whatever. But it's interesting that now we're 15 episodes in, and she's still like,
you know, nervous around him and butterflies, and Maya has to like coach Riley when she's around Lucas. So it's interesting that that's continued, and I agree with you on that prediction that it looks like, seeing as they rode away on a horse in a New York middle school gym, that they will probably have to develop that more at this point.
I don't know that we're going to get it this season. It might be saved for next season, sort of the relationship to be the whole season theme or like strung throughout, because I feel like, you know, we don't have that many episodes left.
Yeah, that's true.
We're already, this Friday is going to be episode 16.
Or 17 maybe even. This Friday?
Is 16, and then we only have till 21, so... Anyway, guys, don't forget, you can download on iTunes, you can watch us on YouTube, you can give us a call at 424-256-1729. And Lee, where can they follow you?
Follow me, please, on Twitter. I love that you guys follow me and write to me and write to Kristen. Also, it's at Lee M. Epstein.
And I am at Cinematic Escape on Twitter. And also, let's say, are you on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on Insta. I'm also Lee M. Epstein on Instagram. Yeah, hit me up, please. I love when you guys write to us and write us questions and comments. We really do appreciate it. It's really sweet, so keep it coming, please.
On Instagram, I'm Cinematic_Escape. All right, guys, we'll tune in next time. If you stick around, if you're on live, we're going to recap episode 15 in just a few moments, and we'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.